Previously, our hijinks found us joining the Brotherhood of Steel and circumventing bureaucracy for a set of power armor. We discussed some goings-on in the northwest of great importance. Then we decided it wasn't important enough to deal with and headed south for a settlement with an unpronounceable name. Don't attempt to ever correct me on the pronunciation of this place. Ever! Here we discovered the secrets of getting hard as well as how to turn science into murder for profit. We helped out a town with a bad guy infestation, then headed back to the north to finally deal with a few issues. We scouted a military base to find out that it's been taken over by some overgrown Brussels sprouts with guns. With this info, we then headed back to talk to some old people and let them know that we should handle this the patriotic way with guns and explosions. Now before we get to this next part, I'm gonna let you guys know that the rest of this game is pretty straightforward. While there's a number of ways to finish this game, I'm going to show you what the most optimal one is. If you'd like, you can spend a bit of time wandering the wastes. In fact, that's a little bit of what I'm going to suggest that you do. Ultimately, though, this is the end of the game, and it's going to be a little bit of a short walk there. With that being said, however, let's go ahead and dive in. We're going to take a small detour here from heading to the military base, as there's a few random things that you can do. We're a little bit over halfway to the max level of this game, which is 21. You can technically beat the game now, but there's some sights to see before the end, and I think this is the perfect time to do them if you haven't. One of them that I highly suggest you try to find is the alien wreckage. Now, I found this a lot earlier in the playthrough, and grabbed myself the alien blaster that's here, as well as a photo of Elvis. That alien blaster is quite possibly one of the most powerful energy weapons in the game, next to your turbo plasma rifle. The other random events you can find here are pretty much hilarious. You got one guy who sells used junk cars, you've got some talking cows, you've even got a TARDIS. These can be fun little distractions from what we're actually trying to do, which is a fair amount of grinding. Again, this is all optional stuff. We're pretty well kitted out to take on the military base as well as the rest of the endgame. It'll also be a nice little farewell tour for your companions because it's almost a guarantee that they're going to die horribly from sheer incompetence. If you'd rather, you can dismiss them, except for Dogmeat, who's a loyal boy who will follow you to the end. Rip, precious baby. When you've arrived at the military base, you'll have some Brotherhood backup that'll pull up to take out the mutants up front. Try to bring them up as close as you can to the gate to engage the mutants, and try to take them out one by one. So long as you do this, you won't trip the alarm, and the red lights outside aren't going to start blinking. Grab a radio off of one of the bodies as well as a holotape that can get you inside the base. Use the radio in your inventory to divert the mutants that you just killed away from the gate for some XP. Once inside, you can take out some of the mutants here. If it's all done right, the alarms won't trip, especially if you pick them off one at a time, and you can get some increased XP by doing this. Be careful of the red fields because they will damage you and your companions, which is generally how the companions have died for me. Head over to this computer and use your science on it to reconfigure the pest control settings for very large creatures. This will make the bots around the facility completely ignore you. The second floor has nothing on it but mutants to roast with your gun, so if you've got the time, use this opportunity to take them on and farm up a level. When you're ready, get yourself back on the elevator and head up to the third floor. Take out the two guards down the hall and then head over to the right to this hallway. It's trapped around here, so you can try to go forward and remove the trap slowly, or just run through like a metal man on a mission of booty beating. The alarms have also most likely gone off at this point, especially if you fought the mutants on the second floor, leaving these yellow walls up. If you use your repair skill on them, you can take them down momentarily so you can get by them. Continue your rampage and you'll eventually find a human here who is real sad that you killed the mutant in this room. I'm sure there's a peaceful option here, but peace was never an option. Head into the elevator here to get to the fourth floor and fight the mutants in the room below you. Once they're dead, use science on the Mr. Handy nearby and tell it to go complete its cleaning mission. Spotless. Now head over to the right of this map where the lieutenant is. If you poke your head around the corner, you can get some XP for listening in on this conversation between him and this robed guy. Save your game before you engage the lieutenant. Also, you can talk to him and give away your vault for the bad ending like you could earlier, but don't do that. Instead, introduce him to enough plasma to turn him into a fourth state of matter along with his goons. When they're dead, pick up the purple robes from this guy to make a fashion statement later. Now head back to the left of the map and up to this room where the vats are controlled. Use the computer next to this guy and use science. You can get some info here if you want, or you can just go to the security codes and use your sweet sciencey magic to hack them. Choose the 3-minute silent alarm regardless of whether the base is on alert or not, and beat Cheeks back to the elevator. You most likely have some mutants to contend with when you get down to the first floor, as well as a lot of these security walls for you to repair in order to get by them. Mow down everything in your path until you're outside and escape with your brethren as you're treated to a sweet cutscene. At this point, you'd think you can go back to the Brotherhood and everyone would be dropping to the floor and demanding you sign autographs, but the thing is, you really only just get a pat on the back from the elders. Truly a prestigious award. Instead, forget these dudes. Take your level and head down to the south to finish the fight once and for all. We're going to be heading to the south of the Boneyard and looking for a place called the Cathedral. Heading here now is the time for you to don your gay apparel and throw on those dope purple threads. Head in and talk to a few people here if you want. The one that we're after is Lasher here, who can give us a symbol to open up a nearby door. You can also buy this symbol from the crotchety doctor here for 7 caps if you don't want to be social. However you go about this, get the symbol and put it into your use slot to use it on a nearby door to crack it open. There's another door around the corner that needs a key to open it as well. If you head upstairs to the 3rd floor, you can find a guy named Morpheus who you can say Lasher sent us and he'll disregard us. You can now try to steal the black key that he has in his robes, but if you're like me, your pants are already way too full of power armor. Also, if he catches you, he'll punch the crap out of you. Killing him will alert everyone and you'll have to fight your way down. You can also tell him you're here to turn yourself in to the Master and skip most of the base here if you really want to. Also, if you bother any of the Nightkin around here, they'll introduce you to their bullets. Instead, use your incredible lockpicking skills on the door and then head down the stairs here. Once down, use those same skills on this bookcase over here to find a handle. You can head through this area without killing anything. Even the floaters and centaurs won't bother you. Bluff the guards out here and tell them to let you by for some XP. Once you're by them, head down to the 2nd floor if you want to talk to a few people and figure out what the Master wants to do here. Head over to this guy and talk to him about getting a neuralizer for your brain space so the Master doesn't melt it if you have to fight him. But we're not going to have to. Honestly, just do this for the XP. Now head to the 3rd floor and run to this room here. At this point, you'll open this door and then come face to face with the Master himself.
So what shall it be? Do you join the Unity, or do you die here?
Join.
Die!
Join.
Die!
From here, you have 2 options of doing this. You can insult him and go straight into a fight, which may not go too well because you may not have your power armor on. Or you can try to keep this chat relatively civil and talk to him about the efficacy of his plan to douse everyone in the world with Nickelodeon gack. When he says it's a perfect plan, let him know that you found a fatal flaw within. When he asks for proof of the mutant sterility problem, I hope you didn't goof like I did and leave Vree's data from earlier in a locker somewhere back the way you came. Show him this data and he'll say you made it up. Confront him that he's lying to himself and he'll capitulate that his idea was really dumb all along and he'll set his base to blow. Cheese it out of here, and when you hit the world map, you'll watch the cathedral explode.
Newly released video shows the moment a gender reveal party went terribly wrong.
With all that finished, you get a long cutscene of everyone's lives you touched and the consequences of your actions. For the most part, this should be fairly positive, except for the possibility of a few areas being hit by mutants, which is fine. You'll then return to your vault. The Overseer will congratulate you on a job well done, and then tell you you're not allowed back in anymore because you'll make people want to leave the vault. And so with that, you'll wander off into the Wasteland, never to be seen again. You get a sweet statue in the sequel, though. And that's pretty much the end of Fallout. I sincerely hope that my guide has helped you out. There's a lot of other fun ways to play this game, and now that you've got a bit of understanding of how to play and where to go and what routes to take, maybe you'll be willing to give them each a try. I highly recommend you try a melee build. You could even try to dump your intelligence and be a drooling idiot that really can't talk to people. At any rate, it's been great to have you all here. If you're interested in things that I've got coming up, feel free to subscribe to the channel. I've got a lot more old games that I'm going to play and make guides for, so that way people can get into them and kind of see what they're all about. I've also got a Twitch in which I stream a lot. You can catch me every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Thanks again to everyone for your support throughout all of this, and I will see you in the next guide. Take care, everyone.